All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to go over our entry approach. Now, there's two ways that we approach the market, and I'm going to show you right about now. So the first way you guys already got introduced to, which is a direct. So direct, and then the other one will be confirmation. I believe that's how you spell it, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, right? Direct and confirmation. So the direct would be when you have a point of interest, okay? And let's say we have all right, a strong low right here. And there's a PI right here. Let's say this is a order block, for example. Let's just say it's an order block. All right, so order block, okay? That's the OB. So the direct entry will be, just a color, will be us refining the higher time frame order block, right? And the way we do that, like I mentioned on the last video, I believe, is we line this up with lower time frame order block. So let's go into some detail on that. Higher time frame OB, that key level. All right, that's the key level. So once we break this down to a lower time frame, this is a higher time frame, right? When we break this down, in that key level, we're gonna see multiple candles. So let's say we see some bullish candles here. All right, we're gonna see some multiple candles, right, in that price level, in this key level right there. Okay, so the one, just color, right? The one candle that we're gonna choose is gonna be the one that's lining up with the higher time frame key level. So in this case, it will be this one right here, right there. It's lining up with the higher time frame key level with the open of the order block, for example. Our stop loss is going to be just above, right? That is where our stop loss is going to be, right? So that's our SL. So write that down. Our stop loss is going to be above the lower time frame POI. All right. Now, when you drop down time frames, obviously there's going to be a structure point. So this right here could just be a structure point like this because it is the lower time frame, right? So your stop loss, regardless, will go on that POI, which would most likely be on a structure point high on the lower time frame. Still with me? So your stop loss would just go just above. Is a structure point high? There's a lower time frame POI. Perfect. That's the one that we're going to choose, the one that lines up with that key level. That's where your stop loss is going to be. That's the stop loss placement for the direct approach. That's how we're going to approach a higher time frame order block. And that's how we're going to refine it. And that's how we're going to take it. This is probably something new to you, but trust me, this works if it's done right. It works phenomenal if it's done right. Now, of course, let's get into some cons, into the negative side of this, because they both have pros and cons. The negative side of this is that one, might miss you, might miss the trade. Two, it might hit stop loss. If you're not watching how price is approaching, if you're not watching price approach this with liquidity being fed into it, my stop loss. Maybe you forgot about it being a weak point and it just hit. So for example, this was supposed to take out the high, but if it fails, it became weak. So let's say you entered right here, right there, right? Fails to take out that high, fails, that becomes weak, comes down one more time, so it takes you out either SL or break even, then it goes. Right? So that's a con. That can happen. That's the reality of trading and the reality of the strategy. I'm not trying to sell you a dream. I'm being transparent, honest with everything that's going on here. Okay, you have to know both sides. It's very important, right? And then, of course, number 3 is it just completely validates. Now, like I mentioned, it's not going to be a strategy that's wrong, all right? Because if you backtest this enough, it is highly accurate. The win rate is high, the hit rate is high, right? But that will come with experience, and that's obvious. We can both agree with experience, you get better at this. You will get better at seeing these setups, you get better at entering these setups, you'll get better at seeing the strong highs, strong lows, the liquidity with time, with experience. So when you first are getting started, all right, guys, you might experience a very low hit rate with this, right? You might. It depends. It depends your background. It depends what you know. It depends where you're coming from. Everybody's different. Some people might understand this in the first week, the first month. Who knows? But I'm being honest here. I'm letting you know, right? So yeah, right. Of course, this is what I considered not such a high probable way of entering a trade, right? So I call this medium. So median, right? And yeah, that's pretty much the cons, right? The cons is might get missed sometimes. Might just maybe you put it at the open, it missed the open, it hit the wick. Maybe it's the wrong POI. Again, it comes down to only one thing: human error. All right. When you have a system in place and it works because you back tested it, it's rinse and repeat. But us as humans, we can't, like, we just can't remember everything at once. It takes time, right? Like we want to hit mastery so fast, but we're humans, we're not a robot. So we make the error because let's say that you saw this, that you saw this at POI and you entered direct, right? And then it took you out. But then I entered right here because I saw this. So I took a win and you took an L. Does it mean the strategy doesn't work? No, it just means that you just saw it wrong. You were not aware of this. You forgot about something, or you didn't remember something, or you didn't see something. That's human error. It's not the strategy, it's not the system. I know it works. If you backtest this stuff over and over again, you will see it works. Amazing. All right. Anyways, enough of that rant. So that's that, right? That's the way that we approach any PY, rejection blocks, unmediated wick, imbalanced field price action. That's the way that we're going to approach it. Just like that. Confirmation entries. A lot of you heard about these. There's different ways, right? So this approach number 2. So this would be pretty much approach 1 and approach 2. So confirmation entries would be